department, we are looking at making sure that AI is taught across all courses, across in all universities and all institutions, so that everyone, irrespective of which branch they study, are aware of how AI can make a difference to them. And our school education department has announced as a matter of policy that AI would be taught to school children right from class 3, from third grade. So in that sense, we are looking to make AI truly inclusive and train the next generation to adapt to AI and ensure that those who have already joined the work stream are also retrained for this purpose. I'm once again delighted that this event is taking place, and it will generate more commitments to further strengthen this global network of institutions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Krishnan, for these insightful remarks, especially around democratizing access to AI resources as well as keeping humans at the center. Now, I would like to call upon Sri Amit Shukla, Joint Secretary, the Cyber Diplomacy Division from the Ministry of External Affairs. Can we have a round of applause for Mr. Shukla, please?
Shri S. Krishnan, Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and IT, my dear friend, Professor Ravindran, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Artificial intelligence has emerged today as an enabler for the welfare and progress of humanity. Whenever AI is deployed with purpose, it can catalyze economic growth and social empowerment for all. Yet, only countries with AI capabilities can reap actual AI benefits to their fullest potential. We must collectively address this anomaly and ensure that the benefits of AI is equitably shared. Else, this very revolutionary technology could only bring the widest, unfathomable divide among countries. Countries, especially from the global south, face resources and access constraints. This inhibits their pursuit to harnessing AI for economic and development opportunities. A collaborative international effort becomes highly relevant to bridge this emerging AI capacity divide. India, with this conviction, has been strong proponent for international AI capacity building cooperation, especially for the global south. Our long-standing ITEC program is the testimony to this belief. Under the ITEC program, we have imparted training to thousands of officials from 160 countries since 1964. We have deployed our vast and rich network of institutions and training facilities for this purpose. Annually, around 10,000 fully funded in-person training opportunities programs are offered to nearly 400 courses at 100 eminent institutes in India. Some of these training courses are AI courses, and we intend to expand this further. In this spirit, we stand with the initiatives of the United Nations and welcome the establishment of the Global Network of Centers for Exchange and Cooperation on Capacity Building. The network would bring unique expertise and perspectives from different regions of the world. This diversity would only enrich the purpose of the network in its assessment of local AI capacity needs. The network must truly facilitate sharing of expertise, training use cases, and developing infrastructure for countries. We have developed our expertise in successful innovative AI solutions and adoptions. Our achievement on integration of DPI into AI to leverage technology for social and economic progress could add value to the network. The AI capacity building models under India AI mission would be relevant for the network. I congratulate all the participating countries on launching of the framework for the network. As we stand today, we have 14 countries already nominating institutions. These are Brazil, China, Ethiopia, Guinea, India, Kazakhstan, Kenya, Rwanda, Saudi Arabia, Senegal, Slovakia, South Africa, Trinidad and Tobago, and Vietnam. It is a matter of satisfaction that IIT Madras from India took the initial steps in this endeavor. Let today's steps of the network build tomorrow's bigger strides. Thank you.
Sorry, could I make a quick announcement to have all the panelists and the speakers on the stage for a quick photograph? Mr. Shukla.
We will have a quick photo opportunity with all of the featured speakers for this session, and we will proceed with the panel right after. Thank you for your patience. Thank you very much, speakers. Our gratitude to Secretary S. Krishnan and Joint Secretary Shri Amit Shukla. We will now proceed with the panel discussion. Thank you.
I would now like to invite Dr. Mehdi Snen, a senior advisor to the UN Secretary General's Tech Envoy, to please introduce the panelists and moderate the panel. Thank you.
He's coming back. Thank you so much for Your Excellency's setting the discussion regarding the global network for centers of exchange and cooperation on AI capacity building. And it's truly my honor today to welcome these distinguished panelists today on the panel to talk about the network, explain how it started, where we are heading. We have for the network. I'm Mehdi from the UN, and I'm today happy to have Saidina Musa from the Center of Senegal, Habib Abdurrahman Habib from Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, IIT Madras. And I'll start with a kind of chronological order of how we have set up the network that started with an initial call from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Kenya during the General Assembly, calling for member states to join their effort to build a global network on AI capacity building that could truly leave no one behind, in particular in the needs of building the AI national strategy and building a local and sovereign national AI capacities. Dr. Abdurrahman, I'll start with you as the chronology of the genesis of the network. I know that there is a lot of initiative coming on in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia related to the AI. You are leading one of the centers that has been already established with UNESCO. See that there is a lot of UN agencies also collaborating and cooperating on building these kind of network beyond the actual one. I would like to start by asking, how do you see the cooperation? You are leading one of the UNESCO centers in Saudi Arabia. How you see the cooperation and digital cooperation among the different networks, but also among the different networks held by different international organizations today?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to be here and seeing our friends. I'm so excited and happy to see the dream is coming true. A couple of years ago, we start multiple meetings saying we want to work on capacity building. We think capacity building is one of the most critical parts. And at the same time, it needs a lot of investment, and we need to come together to build it together. Long story short, we sat with multiple countries. I'm very proud that we and Kenya, especially Philip, Ambassador Philip, he's not here, but we managed to put together the first meeting in order for us to talk about it. It was very challenging at the beginning. That wasn't part of the plan, wasn't part of an official gathering, but we believe that capacity building needs to be a network. We need to work together, not scattered, and we need to support each other in programs. In Saudi, one of the strengths that we have in the past couple of years is actually capacity building. And that's why we tried to show what's been done in Saudi, and especially for the Global South. for all of us today in the table, I believe. All of us have big population, young population, that they are eager to learn. I'll just give an example. When we started Women Elevate program at our UNESCO center, we thought Women Elevate program will show them how eager those students are. So the goal of Women Elevate is to empower ladies globally on AI by offering a training program for 25,000 ladies as a goal for 3 years. Only in the past year, we managed to finish 6,000. The number is not important. What actually important is to see what is the success rate of those students in the program. This is an online program, fully online. We provide, of course, mentorship, and we provide the support, and it finishes with a certificate from Microsoft AI 900. This is 26 hours of training. That's about 5 to 6 weeks. More than 89% of the students are finishing the courses and getting the certificate. Now, 6,000 of them have done the program, and almost the majority of them got the certificate. We're talking about more than 86 countries this program covered. And we believe such programs and many other programs globally will be able to make a dent and change the future for so many of our citizens. And especially for women, and I mean it for Global South. In Global South, we look at technology differently than the northern part. Many of our colleagues and sisters, they look at IT and STEM overall as the go-to major and the go-to place to learn and equip in technology. Therefore, you will see that we have 29,000 ladies registered in the program. Can you imagine that? 29,000 ladies just since June wants to continue and learn in this program, and we will be hopefully able to cater and finish this target and move to new targets as we go. Not only that, but also we twisted the program a bit by offering the program for public servants. Unfortunately, we are only offering it for public servant ladies. So for example, in Kenya, Philip managed to train the majority of his team and the working groups. More than 300 ladies now already trained in the foreign affairs in Kenya. And that's what we want to see in delegation and many other programs, and that's what we are hoping to achieve in the next couple of years. So I'm very excited and happy to see that dream came true, and we are in a network today where we will share programs, and we hopefully share even more and more success story as we go with our colleagues. Thank you.
Dr. Abdurrahman, thank you so much. This is impressive numbers you've articulated there, and I'm happy to count on your support. This is, as said, this is a member states-led initiative, and then it's proposing centers, as our officials from India already expressed it. One of the first center to join is, thanks to our Professor Ravi, a colleague from the scientific panel, is IIT Madras. So you took the initiative of initiating that. So probably you really see the outcome and the value of that. Firstly, as a professor at IIT Madras in India, and secondly, as a scientific joining the UN scientific panel. What do you really expect from the network? How do you see the value of that network?
Great. So first off, I mean, I'm super thrilled that we are here now, that we are actually gotten this moving. And see, the thing with for India, right? So for us, it's we are a country in multiple parts. We are like a curate's egg, right? So there are some parts of the country which is a lot of talent, and other parts of the country where we really have to start building our own networks for doing this kind of capacity building. And so we know the difficulty and value of making sure that the entire population is skilled, or at least AI literate, and have the capacity to contribute meaningfully both to an AI-enriched economy and as well as the AI dialogue going forward, AI development going forward, right? And I believe this is a conversation that cannot be done within the country alone, right? So we really need to get everybody on board. And as an academic, what I'm looking at is, I just taking all my other hats off, just putting my teacher hat on, right? I don't even know how to teach anymore. So that's the truth, right? The skilling, the learning, the mechanisms, the facilities that are available, and even the training that the children who are, well, I teach at a university. I shouldn't call them children anymore, but anyway, the students are going through when they come to us, right? It's very different, right? There's a lot much more self-learning. Students are more comfortable doing things on their own, and in fact, trying to kind of force fit them into a classroom setting is always challenging, right? But then what I'm also seeing is that everybody wants to know AI. Everybody wants to use AI, and I think that's correct. Not because I want more people to do AI research. I'm not looking for more grad students or research assistants, but it is because every walk of life is going to get influenced by AI. So when we talk about capacity building in AI, it is not just capacity to do AI better, but capacity to use AI to do whatever you want to do better, right? And that, I think, is a global imperative. Everybody should know how to use this technology so that as a planet, as humankind, right? We are able to jointly elevate our worth. And so, as Professor Benji was saying in the morning, we want everybody at the table where nobody is the dinner. So it's like, that was a very provocative statement, leaves a powerful image in your mind. But I think that's important, and what we are doing here is great for that. And now putting on my panelist hat. Do I have a couple of more minutes for the panelist hat, Mehdi? Do I have a couple of more minutes for the panelist hat? Okay, I'll take that as an yes. Okay.
I was not ready for that question. I'm not supposed to answer to questions.
Sure. So from the viewpoint of the scientific panel, right? So the whole idea behind the scientific panel is to provide evidence-driven, right, science-based approach to the state of AI, the impact of AI, and the potential progress of AI in the coming times, right? So in that sense, right, unless we have meaningful engagement with the global majority, with everyone in the globe, right, and it's going to be it's going to be futile trying to say that the panel is going to talk for the world at large, right? And for us to have that conversation, we need to make sure there is a sufficient amount of expertise, sufficient capacity around the globe to engage in that conversation, right? So I think that is important. I'm pretty sure the panel had a tough time finding enough representation from the global south.
Thank you so much.
That you can answer, right? So, but we need to get that done.
Yeah, true. Thank you so much, Professor Ravi, and thanks for your kind words. So started with Saudi Arabia, and then India offered the first center, and then Senegal offered the second center, and to host the second meeting of the network that happened at the end of January in Dakar. And our host today is with us. So Sayyidina, you are a former UN Secretary General High-Level Advisory Body on AI member. And among the recommendation, there was this network of capacity building. I recognize some other HLab members sitting in the room. So they will be watching you closely. I'll give you my microphone, no worries. I'll give you mine. So when you've done this recommendation, what is it, you have the best view on what you expect from the network? We'll make it because we are running out of time. So we'll make that. Please give us more clarification on the initial idea and then the current implementation and where we are heading to.
Thank you, Mehdi. I'm very excited to be here. As you say, the network of capacity building of AI capacity building center was one of the recommendation of the H Lab. And the two first one was the panel and the global dialogue. And as you say, the idea of the panel was to have evidence on opportunities and challenges on AI to give to policymakers. And the dialogue was to bring all countries together to have this dialogue around AI. But as you know, when we have all countries, there is this gap between countries. There is some countries who understand what's going on and others who are here, but don't understand all the trends, all the risks, all the challenges, all the opportunities of AI. So that's why the networks of capacity building on AI capacity building was also proposed to give the opportunity to help countries to have more understanding on AI and to build their own ecosystem. And with the network now being a reality, I think that what we have done since then is to adopt our cooperation framework. We begin the work in India here with IIT Madras, and the cooperation framework is now adopted during the workshop in Dakar, where we had, I think it was 6 centers which adopted it. And we talked about what could be the way of doing things within the network. We worked on an offer sheet so that each network who came in each center who came in the network can offer some services to the network. And we are still working on stabilizing the offer sheet. And the next step will be to have a blueprint on because it's important to help also countries which haven't a center yet to build a center. So we will have a blueprint on how to build a center. I think that we ask Odette to do the first draft, and we worked on a couple of activities we can do, and one of the main project is to have a capacity building, and I think we will work on it with Abib and so on. And we try to have other big projects, multi-country projects, so we can work together and help each other. And the next step will be to have perhaps a third meeting. Habib was talking about having it in Riyadh, I think. So perhaps it will be at Riyadh before the summit on July.
Excellent. This is excellent news. Excellent news. So centers get prepared to come to Riyadh. Exciting city. I've been there recently. Good. So in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia started the initiative India First Center. Africa was strongly represented by Dakar and as a second host. And then we got among the first cohort of centers that joined there. Ethiopia, Dr. Fitzum was joining us in IIT Madras, and then in Dakar, with a strong enthusiasm regarding the center. As a center who joined, not building the initiative, but joined it, you have for sure seen something within that initiative that attracts you. And I'm sorry, we are running out of time, so maybe we have 2 minutes, but I want to listen from one of the first centers to join the cohort. Why did you join the network?
Thank you, Mehdi, and I'm very happy to be here, and also very happy to be part of the network. Um, so I'll tell you how we got into this. So I'm part of a network of African labs supported by IDRC called AI4D Labs. And we saw that like there is a need for collaboration across Africa to develop our AI capacity. And we were introduced to this new program that we thought that would actually help us in actually creating the network. And in fact, joining the network would help us want each other to develop our capacity and like lean on our neighbors to not to be left behind. There was, for example, in Ethiopia, there is a huge investment in AI, starting like by the establishment of the AI Institute. And it was responsible for developing policy, developing strategy, and also supporting capacity building. And as from a university, like university itself started thinking about AI and started its own policy in the way education is delivered. And then an AI course was like built, like developed, and when we looked at this, we still are left behind. Like we needed to become more like competitive. And for that, we need the capacity building. So this network provides us opportunity. Not only that, like we can also help like others because we understand the context, the local context, the problems we faced when trying to establish like our own centers. So and our discussions actually helped us understand that, oh, okay, we are in it together, so we can help each other get there. So that's why actually, like, we were very enthusiastic in, and the government was very enthusiastic about, like, saying, oh, okay, we should join this network. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Again, so we heard a lot from the investigators, principal investigators, the designers, the participants, all the enthusiastic centers about the network. Now, in a very short answer, I'll get back to all of you. How do you see the network in the next 5 years? Meaning, we have at the UN the 2030 SDG goal. In 30 seconds, if you can do it. How do you see the network in 2030 contributing to that, or where do you see the network in 2030? Dr. Habib, please. Oh, let's start.
Okay, thanks, Mehdi. In 2030, I think that the dialogue is here. If the network work well, we will have a meaningful dialogue. Is that it's not only some countries who will lead the discussion, but all countries in the world, I think.
I believe that the network will grow exponentially. We're a small number now, and we already grow exponentially in the past couple of months. This will continue as a trajectory for quite some time. But what's more important, that the network will be, the platform is there now. So we can share experiences and share programs in a way that we didn't have before. And by doing so, I believe that will also contribute to our beneficiaries, whomever they are, and will receive more and more training, and more capacity will be built in that program.
Thank you. Fitu?
In 5 years, where I see the network is at equitable distribution of capacity, like where when I say that it's not only the compute power but like the human power as well. We will have no one left behind, right? So which means like you have like people that can do like research and like generate new knowledge, and people that can use AI and like develop their livelihoods. That's where I see that like the effect of this is going to be like for all countries involved.
Thank you. Dr. Ravi?
Yeah. Well, we know the UN has the categorization of countries as to how ready they are with regard to AI. So 5 years from now, I wish the network would have contributed to such an extent that the UN would have to redo the categorization. So where they have to take the topmost level and start splitting it into 4, as opposed to having 4 levels of AI readiness. So everybody is at the top level as we imagine it now. And then we go on from there.
Thank you so much, Ravi. Floor is yours, Chair MC. Thanks for all the panelists, and thanks for joining us for this short discussion.
Thank you, panelists, for that insightful discussion. Before we proceed with the closing remarks, I'd like to remind the audience that we will soon have with us Shri A. Revanth Reddy, the Honorable Chief Minister of Telangana, a state that's emerged as one of the leaders in digital innovation and technology-led governance, and he will be presenting a keynote address on AI and cybersecurity, harnessing AI power in the state's growth. Those who would like to stay back for that session, please be seated. Those who would like to leave after the ODET session, may please use this door. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was a really insightful panel which spoke about the needs of the Global South, capacity building for women and youth particularly. And now moving on, we would like to invite Mr. Vilas Thar, President Patrick J. McGovern Foundation, for his keynote address. May I please request Mr. Thar to come on stage?
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everyone. What an exciting conversation that wraps together so much of what we've heard over the summit. I want to acknowledge Your Excellencies, our friends here in the room, and I want to take this few minutes to share with you 3 ideas that directly connect to the network we're building. The first is we're in a time when innovation in technology seems like it's moving so quickly, but I have to ask, where is the innovation in the institutions that will guide what the future of AI looks like? And I think there is a matter of timing that's quite interesting. In many ways, it feels like no country is as far ahead on this institutional work as they might hope, but neither is any country so far behind that they feel like they're totally out of the race. This network gives us an ability to build the institutions that will guide what the AI future looks like. And in that, I think, is the second opportunity. When we begin to think about what it will look like to build collaboration across countries, across sectors, across topics, I think it's fair to say that we will not look to the private sector to define that conversation for us. It will require a different model, one that brings governments to play to set policy that allows us to collaborate with the sharing of data, with the idea that compute, even as much as we want to talk about it being sovereign, will have regional centers of excellence, and that we need to build ways to collaborate around how we share those resources. That talent flows in this modern world, and that we need the institutions that will let us share our best practices. And third, and maybe most importantly, at a time when AI governance is the topic of the moment, and everybody has a new framework, a framework that's grounded in deep process and practice, but still exists only as a framework, we need the institutions that will turn frameworks into practice, that'll build the muscle memory of collaboration, that'll actually tell us what it looks like to sit down and negotiate the complexity of ensuring common cyber defense, of sharing data, of building algorithms around agricultural practices that transcend geographies and local weather patterns, that allow us to abstract the underlying knowledge that drives these algorithmic designs and make sure that we can apply them in each place as needed. That governance is a matter of muscle memory. It's a matter of practice, and it's a matter of choices. Now, these are three observations that guide why we came to the original idea of creating this network to begin with. I want to acknowledge my colleagues here in the front row from the UN Secretary General's high-level advisory body, a group that came together with scientific expertise and policy expertise from around the world to set forward a set of recommendations that didn't just focus on capacity building, but also on the frameworks of global governance at scale. And I want to acknowledge the countries that led on the Global Digital Compact, the first new major multilateral institutional framework for how we might think about issues of interconnectedness in a digital world. And I want to acknowledge the countries that came forward to really put this initiative together. Starting first, of course, with our dear friends from Saudi Arabia and from Kenya, with the incredible work of India here and Senegal, and the work that will continue. But I want to acknowledge that even when it often feels like this work happens in abstraction, that it happens in international agreements, in national coordination, at the heart of where this work happens is the people, the scientists, the civil society advocates, the private sector entrepreneurs who are building this at scale. And so let me conclude then on this point, that even as we come to the end of this incredible summit, as we've heard from so many, as we've heard both proclamations from the stage and maybe more quietly, behind closed doors, the work that's happening when people come together to ask a simple question, how can I help? How can I be involved? That we ensure that we open the doors of transparency, that we allow for participatory mechanisms, that we ensure that we hold not just our values around what technology should look like, but what our society should look like as it enables these technologies. That we continue to enforce a basic adherence to questions like, are we ensuring diversity in participation? Are we ensuring that the next time we hold a conversation like this, we'll see an equal number of men and women leading centers around the world on AI? That the students who are represented at institutions like this show a diversity of thought? That we're ensuring that we're investing in the rights and norms and values and principles that should guide international collaboration? And that the centers like the ones that are represented here today will be the vanguard of a global network that sits above and beyond where private sector innovation and frontier model sits, but rather innovates towards the kind of society that we all aspire to, one where these tools are used to enable our common purpose, one where India leads, but so too does Senegal and Kenya. So does Trinidad, so does Chad, so does the United States, and so does Saudi Arabia, a world where we come together to define what our common vision might look like when AI enables our very best. I want to thank you all. I want to thank the incredible center chairs that we had, and I want to see us all come together in this work. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gavan, for those powerful reflections, particularly emphasizing the need for diversity in participation. I'm now very excited to announce our final speaker, Her Excellency Ms. Anne Melgaard, the Tech Ambassador from Denmark. But I also would like to make a short announcement that there will be a short intervention after this by the Ambassador for Technology and Innovation from the Government of Brazil, Mr. Eugenio Garcia as well. So, but please, my honor to welcome Ms. Melgaard.
Good afternoon, everyone. Vilas, you're such a hard act to follow. I love this idea of muscle memory. Let me congratulate the four gentlemen that was on the stage before. I am so impressed, and I'm almost a little scared at the scale of the progress that you have already created with this network in such a short amount of time. In my home region, in the European Union and in Europe, it would take a little longer for us before we find the format and the framework, and then we make it into law, and maybe in a few years we would actually be able to do what you've been doing in such a short amount of time. Congratulations. The global digital divide, we've been speaking lengthy about it this last week. It is still a huge challenge to the global dissemination to a true democratization of this technology, of a meaningful access around AI. When 34 countries of the world are the only ones that have the world's compute, it becomes really, really challenging. But what I think this network is doing, it is shining a light that goes beyond these traditional divides that we see in the infrastructure. It is around upskilling and reskilling. And I actually believe that we have more in common between the global north and the global south. And I think we can learn a lot more from each other when it comes to upskilling and reskilling. And that's why this network is such an important and I think landmark piece for the AI puzzle to be solved. I want to make this short, and I want to end on why I think this is important. A dear friend of mine, he has a framework for talking about a meaningful coexistence with technology, and it requires Four things, four ingredients. First of all, identity. How to remain human in a technological world. It seems like a stupid, obvious question, right? But I think many of us are feeling this sense that I'm losing a little bit about me being a human being. My identity as an individual, as a Dane, as a woman, whatever your identity might be in a world where technology is taking over, how to make that persistent, that we have that sense of identity. That is part of being skilled to take the right decisions. The second one is around community. In a time of increasing technology, we need more community, not less. This gathering could have been a Zoom meeting, but nevertheless, thousands of us travel from all over the world, spending time in here with too much air conditioning and then out in traffic with too much traffic. Why? Because of the human connection, because of the impromptu meeting, the inspiring speeches, but also the people you meet when you're in the coffee line. Those who are inspiring, and that community is being built. And that's why these AI summits works. That's why the communities that we're part of, they cannot be solely put into a digital world. They need to persist. Then there's agency. In a more agentic world, we need more agency, not less. I think many of the people that you meet, maybe your families, your communities, the citizens that you represent, if you're a lawmaker and policymaker, the feel of agency, of actually having a say in how this is unfolding is minimized. And this is another place where reskilling, skilling comes up, having the right tools to be part of that. And then finally, about purpose. How often do we ask ourselves, what is the purpose of this technology? There's a sense that I would love for the AI to empty the dishwasher while I write poetry and I play with my kids. But right now we're on a trajectory where I am emptying the dishwasher while the AI is playing with my kids and writing poetry. If we do not insist on having the questions around what is the purpose of that technology, and if we do not skill our citizens, ourselves, in being able to ask, what do we collectively want out of this technology? We're going to get technology that we serve and not the other way around. And so congratulations on this incredible network. I hope to be a stronger partner of it, but right now you are shining a light on a necessary piece for a more meaningful coexistence with technology. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency, and it's always a pleasure to see a woman in the room speaking on this subject. I'd now like to request Ambassador Garcia to quickly make his intervention. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be very brief since I was not in the program, but just to say that Brazil fully supports this global network of the United Nations on capacity on AI and capacity building. I think it's very well known, and we remember yesterday, President Lula from Brazil, he mentioned specifically in his statement that the role of the United Nations is key for the international governance of AI, and we need to come to the defense of the multilateral system. It is important that we do this together. So we'll be working. We have two institutions, two universities from Brazil. They are already joining this network. One from the northeast of Brazil, Federal University of Pernambuco, and also from the south in Brazil, which is the Federal University of Rio Grande do Sul. So these two institutions are already collaborating with the network. Of course, maybe in the future, others could also join. But just to say that this network will complement very well the AI track of the Global Digital Compact, both the scientific panel and the global dialogue. And I think if we can strengthen multilateralism, I think that's the way to go, and we can count on our support. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ambassador. In the interest of time, I'd just like to thank the speakers, the panelists, and the audience for, I hope they enjoyed this insightful session. And we look forward to more news on this network. And thank you, everyone. We now move on to the next session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, speakers. May I remind the audience that we now have with us Shri A. Revanth Reddy, the Honorable Chief Minister of Telangana, for a session on harnessing AI power in the state's growth, a keynote address on AI and cybersecurity. We would encourage the audience to please stay back for this session. Those who choose to leave may please do so through the door on my left. Thank you very much.